somebody cannot put their differences aside, and they've started a war about it. We've got the Morrigan, Weaver of Fate, antipathy, introspection, and opposition. And that word, I just learned it. So I wasn't sure what that was. I was like, antipathy? Like, what's that? I looked it up, and it's a strong aversion to something, and can be based in experience, but also based in judgment. Like, anytime there's like a true crime headline or something like that, they'll take a look at who did it, and oh, like, he looks like a serial killer, something like that. Like, he looks like a guy. It's just, there's no true correlation between those two things. But it was an interesting synchronicity with this card that came out, Forgiveness, because this is a scene from the Tanba Cunha, and I think I'm getting these pronunciations down correctly, but that's the cattle raid of Cooley. And in this, Cullen, he essentially fails an open book test with the Morrigan, because she's announcing that she will attack him as an eel, as a wolf, and as a cow. But she also comes to him in two additional forms, a young woman and a hag, which you see here in this card. And this is after she came through on her promises. She did indeed attack him, and he returned, returned fire, essentially. But he came upon her milking a cow, and in exchange for like milk to recover with, she was healed by him in this concealed form. And then at the end of it, when she reveals her identity, or he figures it out, I can't remember, he says he wouldn't have healed her had he known it was her. And so there's I don't know, maybe a prejudice, or it could even be a personal vendetta. I'm not quite sure, but we'll start getting some cards out. I wanted to get some Ogham, and I don't have like a stave set yet that I found that I like, because I want like the ultimate set, the one that's actually on all the individual woods. I think that's going to take some hunting, but let's see. And I'm still sick. I'm sure you can hear me, but I've got my bone broth here. I'm trying to make my cough a little bit more productive. So I think there's something special about chicken that helps. It's like a natural expectorant, something like that. So I might be using the mute button a lot. I might miss it. Just stick with me. We all get sick sometimes, right? But what is this difference that the Coquelin character cannot get past? Because it's against her, whomever the Morrigan represents in this reading. What is this difference that they can't get past? Go with that one. Poplar or aspen? The pronunciations aren't on here. Victory, transformation, and vision. He's mad that she won. She came through on her promise to attack. Like, I told you what I was gonna do, and then like you made your choices. What did you expect? But also transformation, because this is one of the most I guess well-known accounts of her aspect of shape-shifting in Irish mythology. And didn't that come up in a recent reading? Like somebody was upset about healing or something? I don't know. Start getting some tarot out and see. So what about this? Can't set differences aside over a victory, a transformation. It's even like a vision, like a prophecy. It's not exactly the word I want to use, but another aspect of the Morrigan is prophecy and being a seer. So like the vision they have of their future, of what they want in life, something like that. What is being held on to? Oh, this card. It always gives me the creeps. Six of Cups. This is like the Black Swan card. Losing grip on reality. Somebody so consumed with rage that they're losing touch with reality. Because this is like... It reminds me of the whole mirror theme. That as she's losing her grip, mirrors become really important. Like the reflection moving differently than the person. So somebody consumed with rage over a victory. But the Six of Cups, that's also a soulmate card. Even a card that references children. So it's like people that go way back. Why would somebody that you or you know that goes way back with this person, like let's say these two, the Morrigan and Colcolin, say they go way back as the clock chimes, why would they have an issue with somebody they go way back with winning? That doesn't make sense. Why is that? Why are they taking issue with them winning? Two of Swords in reverse. Because it releases an obstacle. It's like a threshold guardian has been defeated. I was going to say deleted. Some sort of digital aspect to this. Technology. But I just posted that song Bleed Out by Within Temptation, brought up the hero's journey, so that's what's making me think of a threshold guardian. So this victory is the person they go way back with the threshold guardian? They're the obstacle? I think yes. Why would somebody they go way back with be acting as a threshold guardian? That phrase always makes me think of the never-ending story. Like getting through that like gateway of sphinxes. Ace of Pentacles is what it looks like. Or no, is that the Magician? There we go. Focused on the Ace. It's in reverse. So the first thing I saw was the Eight of Pentacles. 8. My head is so fuzzy. I'm being sick. Ace of Pentacles. They're acting like a threshold guardian to get some sort of opportunity, but it's like ignoring the terrain. Something like that, because we're ignoring the swords, the wands, the cup. It's like ignoring what the Morrigan said. Like, I'm coming to you in these 3 different forms. I'm telling you. And then Cuchulainn was like, whatever, being prideful and arrogant, and then they both end up injured. And then his ego gets injured in the end because he healed someone he would otherwise never heal, never show kindness to, anything like that, because there's some sort of strong aversion to her. And I don't remember exactly what the premise was for that particular cattle raid, because that's a frequent event in Irish history, like medieval. So what is this Ace of Pentacles that's being zoned in on? Like, what is this opportunity that's trying to be withheld from the Morrigan? And also, it's very confusing to me, like, why would somebody you go way back with try to withhold an opportunity? That's strange. Because the Magician in reverse is really manipulative and very intelligent too, but this is like the blinders are on, and they even have this like hood kind of acting like a physical blinder, something like that. So what's this opportunity about? Go with that one. Apple tree? It says apple. Beauty, love, and generosity. Trying to get in the way of love? And this came up in the recent past, not very recent, but it was like somebody not understanding that just because whomever, let's say the Morrigan is interested in, isn't interested in her, she doesn't then suddenly magically become interested in that other person that maybe has her as the apple of their eye. It's like somebody trying to eliminate the competition in a race they themselves were never in. Something like that. It'd be like, how do I put this? If you've ever had somebody that was like weirdly obsessed with you, kind of like waiting in the wings for their moment, not being honest about this is actually a platonic like friendship, it's like an ulterior motive, something like that. Because that's stealing their time, because the other person thinks they're engaging in a friendship or whatever, but like I'm sensing some limerence, something like that, and but it's like out there for me. The example that's coming to mind, it'd be like, because Pedro Pascal is not available to me, then I would suddenly be interested in this person. Like, no, I'm still not interested in you just because he's a distant celebrity and this is like a joke. Like, it's such a strange thing. I don't know. It's a weird vibe. But it's, if they have an aversion to someone, why would they want to block a love opportunity for them? It's strange. It's really weird. Seven of Pentacles. That's patience. That's waiting. That's like a really long time. Or like waiting for somebody to get divorced and thinking like, oh, now it's my opportunity, not being able to conceptualize that they're just not interested in them. Like the changing of their marital status or something doesn't change the fact that they're not interested in them. They're just not. Like, it's not personal or anything. It's just. But there's this, like, war over it. And an opportunity involved. Do they want this person? It's very confusing. What's this Seven of Pentacles about? This vibe, this is like a tower coming down. It's like all this confusion and bricks and rubble and things are crumbling and plans didn't work. Weren't able to secure the cattle in the raid. I don't know. Strange. What is this Seven of Pentacles about? But this does kind of seem like... How do I put this? A situation that would be appropriate for the Morrigan. Like, to call on her if you're dealing with someone, or something this, like, Kafka-esque, I guess. Very strange, very confusing, because she's very complex. She has a lot of different aspects, and she can shapeshift, which means she can adapt to this weirdness and is trying to embody that aspect of her. So what about this Seven of Pentacles? Is that the Ace of Cups? It is. Ace of Cups, Two of Wands, and Seven of Swords. Second two are in reverse. And the Seven of Swords, I get this mixed up with the Ace of Swords in this deck because, like, the silhouette is very similar on the image. So, like, at first glance, it looks like the Ace of Swords to me. So something's deceptive, shape-shifting. This is like somebody who is pretending to be what that person wants, but they hate it. It'd be like, oh, what is it? Hunchback of Notre Dame. The priest guy and Esmeralda, like that. It'd be like somebody who has an issue with, like, witchcraft or something like that. But they pretend they don't because they, like, have this burning desire for this person. But don't you want to be with somebody you like? That's what I want. Like, that's just... It doesn't make sense to me. Like, if you despise... Or, like, not you necessarily, unless we got a cross-watcher here, but whomever Cuchulainn represents, if they despise the qualities and the aspects of the Morrigan character in this, why wouldn't you just let them go? Like, I don't know. It'd be like somebody who is trying to save them. And I'm very against proselytizing, like trying to convert people to their religion. Because I'm an omnist. I'm of the thinking that, like, here I am. These are what my beliefs are. If you would like to know more, like, please, by all means, listen. Like, I've got an open door policy for curious and respectful people, you know? But I'm not going to try and sell my beliefs to anybody, to congregate or anything. It's up to them how they would like to engage in their own personal path, you know? And Maybe they're in the exploration phase. Maybe they're just here for a visit, at my YouTube channel or another one or some sort of church in the community. And it's about providing a welcoming space where they can get their questions answered about, like, do I want to know more here and explore more here? Because there's even more big questions after that. But it's just about creating a welcoming and open environment, not forcing people to think how you think. But it's like this person so badly wants to change this other person, and it's so twisted. Like, they think in their mind they're helping, like they're saving them, quote unquote, when really they're encroaching on their rights. Two of Wands in reverse, it would be imposing on that other person's natural path, how they think, how they believe. But there's some sort of deception revealed about this. Seven of Swords in reverse. I can feel a sneeze potentially. But the Seven of Swords in reverse, this is a card of strategy. And it's like a strategy being seen. Like, we were out to capture the witch. Like, we were gonna save the witch who, like, is just minding her own business. Like, tending to her cows, tending to her matters. Like, literally just someone living their life, not interested in this person or whatever they're selling, whatever they believe. And this person, like, demanding, like, you must believe how I believe. And they just won't leave them alone. It's weird. So what is this deception or strategy that's being revealed? Because that's... Seven of Swords is premeditated. It's not an impulsive act. It's trying to cripple the warring camp for the battle on the morn. So what's that about? Because maybe that's the interfering with some sort of love opportunity? Like somebody, I don't know, in the background was like, oh, hey, what's up with your friend? Like just trying to inquire. Like, are they married? Are they single? Like, what's up? Like in my case, I have a tattoo on my ring finger. I got it for me. I didn't get it with anybody else, but that might be something that, like, a friend of a friend asked, like, what's their deal? Not sure if I should even be asking them out or not. Gorse? Transmutation, resourcefulness, and exposure. Exposure? The exposure of the strategery? Or maybe the exposure that something was known by this Coquelin character. Be like harassing whomever is represented by the Morrigan in this. And them, like, pretending like, oh, I didn't know that they weren't interested in me or whatever. And, like, hey, wait a minute. Why did you think they were interested in you? Have you ever, like, even been to coffee with them? Anything like that? And then things starting to kind of unravel, like, oh, this is all in your head. Like, this, there's no way Esmeralda would ever have gone for that priest guy, and he just didn't want to accept it. So what about this exposure? Oh my goodness. Uh-oh. I see the judgment card. Actually, what was on the bottom? Just curious. 4 of Pentacles, 5 of Pentacles, and the Fool in reverse. So that's the context under Judgment and the World that came out sideways. Gotta cover her up. Thought that was done. But the context for this Judgment and the World that came out sideways is 4 of Pentacles, 5 of Pentacles, and the Fool reversed. Control, poverty, missed opportunities. It's like somebody's really done something here that impacted somebody's life. And they're out there playing dumb. Like, oh, I had no idea, like, that my actions of, like, I don't know, telling this person that we were actually together when that's literally never happened, would impact that person's, like, interest or something on them. Maybe it's something like that. Like, somebody inquired, like, friend of a friend, like, what's up with your friend? And they're like, oh, we're together in a secret relationship that nobody knows about. And what? Like, why not? First of all, why is it a secret if you're going to be with somebody? And it's different than, like, letting the seed grow in private, you know? Having some time before you go public, I guess, with somebody. But it's something like, is there, like, a taboo nature to this? Like, it would be inappropriate, and that's the excuse for, like, oh, this is why this person doesn't ever show any kind of affection towards me and doesn't act like we're dating. Like, oh, because you're not, actually. And I've mentioned before on the channel that somebody once, a long time ago, I think it was actually when I was still married, right as the clock chimes, but they took my pictures off of social media and, like, constructed this whole narrative that we were together. And I don't know if they, like, photoshopped us together or something with those pictures, but now with AI, like, you can do so much more. Like, what if somebody ripped my voice from my YouTube videos or something and, like, listen to this voicemail that they left me? Like, it's this whole, like, psychotic craziness. And the ability to do this to people is rapidly outpacing the avenues of recourse for the victims that are being subject to this sort of thing. Like, I think I saw, was it Paris Hilton? She's doing some sort of initiative to protect women against AI. Looked pretty interesting. I think she's trying to get some laws passed or something. That's how you use your celebrity, for sure. We've got the Hierophant and the 3 of Cups, both in reverse. This is the 3rd reading that the Hierophant has come out. It was reversed and then upright and reversed again. Other people knew about this and didn't say anything? This is like looking the other way when somebody is getting harmed because, like, you don't feel like dealing with it. It's too hard. Whatever. But I'd bet my bottom dollar that that person that's like, man, it's too hard, like, it's not happening to me, like, whatever, they'd be furious if this happened to them and somebody knew it was happening and they didn't try and help. Yeah, this is like people just letting it happen. And maybe that's the strategery the Seven of Swords that's coming out. And it might even be this Three of Cups in reverse. Maybe they didn't know at first, but then they did and didn't do anything about it. Or doubled down or something. Or for some reason, like, took this person's side and just facilitated this harm. But the Hierophant, this is some sort of institution. Some sort of, like, the people are supposed to be able to rely on this, because this typically refers to, like, religious institutions, the church, or a government, or something like that. And this would be like them looking the other way. Which, I mean, we see it in the headlines all the time, like, government does harm and looks the other way. Like, well, yeah, okay, that tracks. But there's judgment for it. And it's bringing a cycle to a close. Which, good. I hope it is. Because this isn't fair. Especially, like, it seems like somebody just trying to live their life. And there's this theme of antipathy. And maybe the people that took Cuchulain's side in this war, they have the same prejudice or something. The same dislike for witches, for shapeshifters, for whatever. So what is this characteristic or issue that people collectively have a problem with? Because there was the mention of that victory. And I mean, obviously, Cuchulainn would have an issue with being the loser. You know, this seems like a very prideful and arrogant... Like, to construct that sort of narrative, the entitlement to try and control somebody else's life like that, like just lie, something that they know isn't true. And they know is going to impact a path that otherwise would have occurred. Like, you're interfering with somebody else's life. There's going to be consequences for that. As there should be. But what is this characteristic that's so disliked? That there's like a meeting of the minds over, unification over. And has nobody questioned? Like, wait, why am I doing this to somebody who didn't do anything? I don't know. Introspection, relaxation, and depth. Vine. They don't like the introvert? Is that it? Oh, goodness. It's like judging somebody because you're not invited to their private life. Get over it. They decide who they want in their inner circle, and if you're not invited, you're not invited. Like, there's ways to inquire about that, like, if people have drifted apart or something, like, hey, what's going on? Like, we used to be close and now we're not, like, but just expecting an open door into somebody's life, like, it's different than the example I was giving over, like, a church or something. Like, that's an open door policy because that's a community place. Somebody's private life is not that. It's different. Or it's like, I don't know. this like blaming somebody for not being interested in someone? Like, how dare you not like them? Like, excuse me for having agency. God forbid. Goodness gracious. But it could be like a small seed of something that grew, morphed, shapeshifted within the groupthink, within all this strategery and such. Especially if, because it'd be like a wildfire getting out of control. Because if this person now thinks these two are together when that's never happened, now we're going to have to start covering our tracks. Because there's going to be more people involved. Because, like, this person might think it's strange that, like, oh, well, I haven't told anybody, but I'm telling you that we're together, but don't tell anyone. Like, that's really odd. And they might have gone with their gut and asked somebody in the group, like, do you know what's going on here? Because this all seems really strange. It's like targeting somebody who's minding their business because they can't handle that other person's privacy for some reason. What's this disdain, dislike for the introvert? Or just for introverted nature? Be like thinking somebody's strange for choosing to be single. Like, read the terrain, dude. Like, take a look around you at what women have to deal with. Especially women who are interested in men. Whether exclusively or they're bisexual or whatnot. Like, we're dating our natural predator. And boy, are they acting like predators recently. And it seems like the more women open up about, like, this is what the problems are, there's more doubling down as opposed to actually taking in that feedback. And it's like more hatred towards women, more misogyny, proving that, like, we have every right to women's bodies, like, and you have no right to have preferences about men or demand that we meet you equally in EQ or things like that. Like, taking it really personally that they have to develop their own personality and emotional intelligence and things like that, rather than just being a paycheck. That doesn't work anymore. We're not being held hostage completely. Like, in a way, we are still. But not completely held hostage by economic opportunities being withheld from us. So we don't have to rely on, like, if I don't get married, I'm not going to survive. It's like that whole, oh, marriages used to last and whatnot. Women weren't allowed to have bank accounts until, like, what, the 70s? Grandma was chained by the ankle. What is this? Temperance again. Came out in the last one. But in reverse. And the Death card in reverse. 2 major arcana. So impatience about change not occurring. So maybe like the trying to impose beliefs on someone, it's not taking. They're getting impatient about it, this group. But this brings me back to the idea of failing an open book test. It's It's like whomever is represented by the Morrigan, it was silly to even try it. Like, this is somebody immovable in their beliefs. And it's kind of like, it reminds me of Rebecca Nurse from the Salem witch trials, that she steadfastly held to her beliefs until the end, and it cost her her life. She was one of the most pious people in the community, and she refused to confess to witchcraft because she wasn't doing it. And she's one of the people that lost her lives in that. But it's like they came up against somebody who's like, give me liberty or give me death. And told them that. Like, if you come against me, I will not yield until the bitter end. And it's also like, you can't make me love you. You can't buy me. You can't trick me into thinking you actually believe in these things. Or maybe for a time. Maybe that worked for a bit, but eventually that mask is going to slip. Because that takes a lot of energy that could be devoted to internal work, to introspection, to working on whatever is going on in that internal storm that makes others try and control somebody else. But that's hard. Looking in the mirror, that's tough. It doesn't feel very good. Speaking from personal experience. Having to look at your mistakes, where you went wrong, where you trusted the wrong people, and even being able to rationalize through, well, they were being intentionally deceptive and whatnot. Being betrayed hurts, regardless. Especially if it was somebody that was presenting like an Ace of Cups. Like, you can trust me and believe me and yada yada yada. Like, obviously not. Because you wouldn't even heal me had you known it was me. So what about temperance and... I was going to say judgment, but death. Judgment already came out. And that's a lot of big energies. Judgment, the world, death, temperance. Something big is going on. So what about this impatience? I'll go with that one. 8 of Pentacles in reverse. The plan didn't work. Whatever was premeditated, whatever they'd been working at, excuse me, it didn't work. This is a failure to master. What an interesting image, though. Because they look like they're writing, and then there's the shadowy crow above them. It's giving me like a court vibe. Like somebody who's transcribing a statement or something, and then that'd be like the Morrigan hanging out in the background, ensuring that deception is seen, the strategery is seen, that things come forward in such a way that this scheme doesn't remain hidden. Because it would be at the cost of an innocent. That's an interesting thought, too. Because I don't really subscribe to that idea of karma, of like, what goes around comes around, as if it's transactional, things like that. But it's more like when I think of the Watchers, or like a guardian angel or something like that. Like, why? Why would they get involved? Why would a divine being bother with a human matter if somebody innocent just didn't do anything to deserve the harm? it's an opportunity to step in. And I'm not saying that happens every time, unfortunately. There's a lot of innocent people that never get justice, which is, to me, not a failure of the divine. It's a failure of our systems that we built, that we can troubleshoot and we can fix. And we don't. We, or the powers that be, rather, leave the corruption in place. Leave the structures and the framework in place that enable harm to occur. So this is like the lid being blown off on a strategy, and how, even though we have mountains of data on it already, how like the legal system or some sort of institution was used as a strong arm for institutional harm, all because of somebody's obsession. And we see it. We do with intimate partner violence. It happens like at the point of divorce. I think I just saw a headline in Brazil where like the husband, ex-husband, like right as they were signing divorce papers, asked the lawyer to leave the room, and so that he could have a moment to speak privately with his now ex-wife, and he unalived her in that office. And I think tried to do the same to himself, but that didn't work. And it's the entitlement to somebody else's life is really the theme I'm seeing run through this reading. But somebody failed an open book test. It's like she knew they were coming for her, and she was like, hey, I see you. You can stop or not. Like, you decide what kind of day you want to have. So if you're in a complicated situation like this, where you're dealing with institutional harm, one day at a time, your remedies, if it's bone broth, or what was I having? It was a pineapple and watermelon. Started having that as soon as I got sick, or started feeling that I was getting sick. And I think it helped a lot with like muscle soreness. We've got Monster betraying the martyrs. The person who did this knows who they are. This is not a mistake. This is not an oopsie. This is a, I knew I wanted to convert that witch. Something like that, right as that clock goes. So, well, music to catalyze some of those difficult emotions inside. And I have that playlist that I recently made on the channel called Monster, or Monsters. And that's some pretty heavy music. So if you've got some heavy emotions, that might help move some things through. So self-care, grounding, music, eating well, all those things that take care of the foundation of the body, of the mind, so that when it comes time to step on the proverbial battlefield to stand up for yourself, or maybe even for someone else that you see this happening to, you're ready. You're centered, you're focused, and you're ready. So, overall, I hope this helps. Another that I hope it doesn't resonate, but if something within this did, I hope you found something helpful, and we'll see you next time.